Andy and Steve. I mean, well, actually, obviously, Andy, you've done this before many times. I mean, did you find yourself coming back to studying real chimp behaviour before you did this, or is this second nature to you now?
Well, actually, no, because Caesar's journey in this is the opposite. Caesar starts off as a chimpanzee, and in actual fact, when I approached the role of Caesar originally, I studied the most human-like chimp that I could find, which was a chimp you may know called Oliver in the 1970s, who at a certain point in history was considered to be, for a while, potentially the missing link. He was incredible. His physicality was very, very human, standing bipedally most of the time, would sit down in chairs, was treated like, was brought up by human carers and was treated like a human, and was taken around on this bizarre sort of circus, really, and had DNA experiments carried out on him. So I based Caesar on that chimp, but also I approached Caesar as a human in ape skin, because Caesar was brought up with humans, and part of the experience I had watching gorillas and studying gorillas both in the wild and in zoos was that apes reflect more human behaviour if they're surrounded by, very obviously, surrounded by human beings. They tend to reflect human behaviour more. But not only that, sort of philosophically, from a character point of view, Caesar is an outsider. So I always approached it mentally that he thought he was a human being within an ape's skin. So that in Rise, when he is thrown out of, taken away from his human care as his father figure, Will, played by James Franco, and put into the ape sanctuary, he had to learn to be an ape again. So for me, the observation, a lot of the observation of chimpanzee was in that first movie, and then I've gradually moved away from that, because Caesar's evolution, both kind of intellectually, emotionally, and physically, over the course of the next 3 movies, as well as his sort of growing from being an infant all the way through to being an adult. And how that emotionally changes was my task, really, on the film.
And what about you, Steve? Then, sort of joining this show with Bad Ape, did you look at domesticated chimps, for example, when taking the role?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different, because when I came into it, I was petrified. Just as an actor, and I had a limited amount of time to figure this out. So I wasn't studying on an intellectual level. It was pure, like, I have to figure this out. I knew that because of these guys and the work they had done before, that I had to get to a point of where I could play a chimp. But it would have to be something that I'd have to throw away to play a character, because the character is really the thing that you respond to. And hopefully the things that I pick up by myself, and also just being around them and picking up their movements and what have you, would work. But it was interesting, because I spent hours and hours, I just, on YouTube, I just put chimpanzees, and I watched every stupid zoo. I watched them in their natural habitat. I watched them, but I was fascinated with zoos, and my character comes from a zoo. He escaped from the Portland Zoo, and he was taught to speak. And I thought, oh, most of his behavior was learned at a zoo, So I watched these zoo videos, and I was fascinated. When anybody filmed them, they were focused on the fight or the whatever was going on. And I was always fascinated with the chimp that sat like in the corner and didn't do anything, just sat there. And I was like, wow, how is that different? How is this, how when we look, how is it different when an ape look? What is it? So out of panic, this is hard to explain. Yeah. I just try to embody that. I really try to focus on what are those things that will get me through the day, so that I can, it's a 5-month shoot. I just need to get through the first week, and then I'll pick up stuff. But so I don't know how much I can give you, other than it was just like, I don't even know what I did,
Yeah. Well, it clearly worked, right? I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of the feedback that people
Yeah,
are getting is Bad Ape's a very popular character. People love Bad Ape.
And I really wanted to get it right. I really did. And I'm a physical actor. I danced for years. I knew that I could do it. I was very excited about it. It reminded me of theater. It reminded me of the years spent doing crazy theater. And I was extremely excited about it and very nervous. And I don't know. I just kind of dove in. And
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey,